Have you ever had one of those days where you just feel off? Not sick exactly, not in pain, but just not quite right. Like your energy has dipped, your focus is fuzzy, or your motivation's gone missing. Maybe you tell yourself, that's just part of aging, and brush it off. But what if it's not just age? What if something you're doing without even realizing it is quietly sabotaging your health? I'm not talking about the obvious stuff like smoking or never moving your body. I'm talking about the small habits, the things that seem innocent or even helpful, but are quietly wearing you down. If you're over 65, your body speaks to you in subtle ways. It doesn't always shout, but it does whisper. And when we ignore those whispers, they can turn into bigger problems down the line. But here's the good news. Once you become aware of these hidden traps, you can make small changes that help. You feel more energized, clearer in the mind, and more in control of your well-being. In this video, we're going to talk about 5 of the most common ways people unknowingly undermine their health after 65, and how to turn each one around. Starting today, let's start with the first one. And it might surprise you. One of the sneakiest forms of self-sabotage is skipping meals, or barely eating during the day, then eating a big, heavy meal late in the evening. It might seem harmless. Maybe you're not that hungry during the day. Maybe you get distracted or just don't feel like cooking. But by the time evening rolls around, you're ravenous, and suddenly, dinner becomes the biggest, heaviest meal of the day. Here's the problem. Your digestive system isn't as fast as it used to be. Late heavy meals can leave you feeling bloated, interfere with sleep, and even spike your blood sugar. That sluggish feeling the next morning? It's not just age. It might be your body still trying to process last night's dinner. The fix doesn't have to be complicated. Try a light, protein-rich breakfast, even just a boiled egg and a slice of whole grain toast. Give your body something steady throughout the day. A small bowl of soup, a piece of fruit, some nuts or yogurt. Then keep dinner simple and gentle. A warm vegetable stir-fry or a baked piece of fish with greens can be just enough. You'll sleep better, wake up more refreshed, and your energy throughout the day will feel more stable. Now let's talk about another common trap. And this one hits closer to home for many seniors. It's the habit of pushing through fatigue, instead of listening to your body and allowing rest when it's needed. We live in a culture that praises toughing it out. But at this stage in life, resilience doesn't mean pushing harder, it means knowing when to pause. You might feel guilty resting during the day, or you might think, I'm just being lazy. But that mid-afternoon nap your body keeps asking for? It could be exactly what you need to reset your brain and protect your heart. Research shows that brief, intentional rest, especially before 3 p.m., can lower blood pressure, improve focus, and support memory. It's not about giving up. It's about giving your body the respect it's earned. Let go of the old story that says rest is a weakness. It's actually a smart strategy for longevity. The next time you feel your eyelids growing heavy, don't reach for another coffee. Find a quiet spot. Close your eyes. Even 15 minutes of peaceful stillness can shift your entire day. Now that we've explored 2 of these hidden health traps, let's keep going. Because the third way we often sabotage ourselves is so subtle, most people never even realize it's happening. It's this: telling yourself, it's too late for me to change. Now maybe you've said that exact sentence, or maybe it's come out in softer ways. I'm too old for that, or that's just the way things are now. And look, it's completely normal to feel stuck sometimes. When you've lived a certain way for decades, change can feel like climbing a mountain with no trail in sight. But let me tell you something, and I want you to really hear this. That voice in your head saying, it's too late, that's not wisdom, that's fear dressed up as logic. And it's quietly draining your motivation and stealing your potential. You are not too old to improve your health. You are not too old to learn something new. You're not too old to become stronger, sharper, more joyful, more free. I've seen people in their 70s and 80s reverse their type 2 diabetes, strengthen their memory, and fall in love with life again. All because they stopped listening to that little whisper that says you can't, and started asking, what if I try? Sometimes breaking that cycle starts with one tiny shift. Maybe you stretch for 5 minutes in the morning. Maybe you Add a walk after lunch. Maybe you drink one extra glass of water today. You don't need a big transformation overnight, you just need a spark. And speaking of water, that brings me to another health-sapping habit many seniors fall into: not drinking enough fluids. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but I'm not thirsty. That's the tricky part. As we age, our natural thirst signals become weaker. By the time you feel thirsty, your body may already be dehydrated, and dehydration, even mild, can affect your mood, memory, digestion, joint comfort, even how clearly you think. I've had folks tell me they just forget to drink during the day. Others avoid it because they don't want to be running to the bathroom constantly. I get it. But the truth is, your body still needs that hydration, maybe more than ever. Try keeping a small glass of water next to wherever you sit most. Your favorite chair, the table by the window, your nightstand. Herbal tea counts too. Even soups, smoothies, or water-rich fruits like melon and cucumbers help. You don't need to force gallons down, but a steady trickle of hydration can make your skin glow, your energy stay even, and your joints feel just a bit more cooperative. And if you're someone who deals with constipation, headaches, or brain fog often, this small change might be the quiet fix you've been looking for. Now that we've talked about how mindset, rest, and hydration play a bigger role than we sometimes admit, let's take a breath together. Because there's one more hidden saboteur we need to look at, and it's something many of us do with the best intentions. We mean well. We really do. But the fourth hidden way many seniors unintentionally hurt their health is by putting everyone else's needs ahead of their own, all the time. You may not see this as a bad thing. Maybe you grew up believing that serving others is just what you do, and honestly, there's a deep beauty in that. Caring for your spouse, helping your kids, watching the grandkids, even volunteering for your church or community. These are all meaningful parts of life. They give us purpose. But here's the trap. When you constantly say yes to everyone else and no to yourself, something inside starts to wither. Your energy runs dry. Your body doesn't get the rest, food, or attention it needs. Your joy shrinks. And slowly, without even realizing it, your health begins to erode. Not because you've done anything bad, but because you forgot that you matter too. Let me be very clear. You can't pour from an empty cup. You deserve to protect your time. You deserve to sit down with a good book and not feel guilty. You deserve to go for your morning walk before running errands for everyone else. And if you've been skipping meals, delaying doctor appointments, or brushing aside how you really feel just to keep the peace, then it's time to stop. Not for selfishness, but for sustainability. A healthier you is a more loving, more present, and more joyful you. Which brings us to the fifth and final health saboteur I want to talk about today. It's something most people never mention in doctors' offices. Something that hides behind polite smiles and vague phrases like, "I'm just tired lately." It's emotional isolation. Now, I know that word can sound dramatic, but I'm not talking about being completely alone. I'm talking about the quiet kind of isolation. The kind where you do see people, but you don't always feel seen. Where conversations feel surface level. Where days go by without laughter, real connection, or anyone asking how you're really doing. This kind of emotional loneliness is sneaky. It doesn't always show up as sadness. Sometimes it looks like irritation, or forgetfulness, or just a flat sense that you're going through the motions. And research backs this up. Feeling emotionally disconnected can weaken your immune system, raise your blood pressure, and even impact your brain health over time. That's how powerful connection is to the body and mind. But the good news is, you can rebuild that sense of connection, even at 70, 80, or beyond. Maybe it starts by calling that old friend you haven't spoken to in years, or joining a local group, even if it feels a little awkward at first. Maybe it's letting your neighbor know you'd love to share a cup of coffee now and then, or opening up, just a little, when someone asks how you are. It takes courage, but it's worth it. And if no one else has said it to you recently, let me say it now. You are not alone, and you don't have to do it all alone either. This life, with all its ups and downs, becomes much more bearable and beautiful when we allow others in, even just a little. You've made it this far in life, and that's no small thing. You've weathered storms, overcome challenges, and adapted to changes that younger generations can't always imagine. So if any of what we talked about today feels familiar, if you've caught yourself in one of these health traps, please don't see it as a failure. See it as an opportunity, a turning point. Because the beautiful truth is, it's never too late to change course. Whether you're 66 or 86, your body and mind respond to kindness, intention, and care, just like they always have. Even small shifts can spark a big difference. Let's say you've been skipping meals or reaching for packaged foods out of convenience. One simple adjustment, like adding a hearty smoothie with greens and protein to your day, can reignite your energy and balance your blood sugar. Or maybe you've been ignoring lingering discomfort, brushing it off as just aging. But today, you finally booked that checkup. That call could prevent a much bigger problem down the line. And if you've been feeling emotionally isolated, here's something powerful you can try today. Write a letter, not a long one. Just a few lines to someone who once meant something to you, a friend, a cousin, even an old coworker. Tell them you were thinking of them, ask how they are. That letter or message could reconnect something you didn't even realize you were missing. We tend to think health is all about what we eat or how much we move, and yes, those things matter. But real health goes deeper. It lives in our boundaries, in our rest, in our laughter, in how gently we speak to ourselves on hard days. It lives in connection with others, yes, but also with your own sense of purpose. Now I know some people might say, well, it's just too late for me. My habits are already set. But let me tell you something I've seen time and again, it's not too late. I've met people who turned their health around at 70, 75, even 90, not with fads or extremes, but by simply deciding, I'm worth the effort, and you are. You are worthy of energy, joy, and peace every single day you're alive. So let this be the moment where you decide to stop secretly sabotaging your health, where you catch yourself in those little patterns and gently shift, not with pressure, not with shame, but with love. Because when you give yourself that kind of love and attention, your body responds, your mood lifts, your days feel lighter, and suddenly you're not just getting through life, you're truly living it again. So keep listening to your body, keep choosing yourself, keep showing up, one step at a time. And if this video touched something in your heart today, I want you to know this community is here for you. We're growing a space where seniors can feel seen, valued, and supported. A space that reminds you how much life there is left to live, no matter your age. If that speaks to you, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's one small change you're ready to make starting today? And don't forget to click the like button if this helped you, even a little. It helps more people find us. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that button so you never miss a message. That could change your life. Here's to you, to your wisdom, your strength, and to all the bright, beautiful days ahead. You've earned them.